Hello, and this is another video with Stats and Tech showing you how to use technology in your statistics course. So today we're going to cover the graphing calculator. So I have a TI-84 Plus pulled up, but as you can see, this will work with either a 84 Plus calculator or 84 Plus C Silver Edition. Either of those will work for this. So the buttons are pretty much the same. Um, so it still will apply to your calculator. All right. So let's start with putting in a data set, and we're going to go over descriptive statistics today. Descriptive statistics. So that's going to include our basic for my courses, pretty much my basic mean, median, mode, which is measures of central tendency. And then we're going to include standard deviation, variance, and probably quartiles as well, since it's all on one screen. So we're going to cover the measures of central tendency, measures of position, and then measures of variation. Okay, so let's get started with just putting a data set into your calculator. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so here we have just a simple data set we can work with. Anytime that you are working in the statistics, we hit that stat button, then we hit edit and put our data in, and hitting enter to enter each data entry. And then you want to make sure you use second mode to get out of the screen. If you don't, you'll start working inside of your cell in that list, and it'll start giving you some crazy errors. Okay, so second mode to always quit out of that screen. So we're going to go back into stat. Now we're going over to calculate or calc. We're going to use one var stat for descriptive statistics. One var stat is already highlighted, so I'm going to either hit 1 or enter. All of our data is in L1. If you happen to have data in L1 and L2, which we'll do a separate video about having frequencies, then you'll have to tell the calculator, hey, I have something in L2 I need you to pick up. So we'll put L2 in there. But for right now, we're just going to do our general statistics, descriptive statistics. All right. So there's our mean. So this symbol is for the sample mean, but it does represent sample mean and population mean. The calculator already knows that it represents both. So this is population mean and sample mean. Okay. So this S right here is for sample standard deviation. So SX or S, I think of the older calculators, you may have just an S. That's sample standard deviation. That's that answer. Population standard deviation is here. So a sample, that's population. So we have our mean, our standard deviations. We have N for our sample size or our total frequency. You'll see it here. So N and total frequency is here. For measures of position. So variation was here, position here. So this is min, Q1, Q2, or your median, Q3, and your max. So these are your five number summary numbers for your box and whisker plot or box plot here. Your min, Q1, Q2, remember median and Q2 are the same, Q3, and max. So notice in the Excel, you will see your mode. You will not see mode here in your TI-83 or 84 calculator, your Texas Instrument calculator. Womp womp. So that just means you're going to have to do a little bit of work on your own, which is fine. Okay. We also don't see variance up here. Okay. So let's go to another screen to actually find your variance. So the shortcut would be to take your standard deviation, whether it be your population or sample, take those numbers that you see here. I would take maybe 4 or 5 digits after the decimal place. Don't round it. Just take it, cut it off, and square it. So to find variance, 1.58113, 1.58113, 1.58113. I would take it and just square it to find variance. That's the easiest way to find variance. To take your standard deviation and square it. To find the perfect variance, there is a function in the calculator that will allow you to see some of your stat features, stat functions. So we're going to go to vars. And notice vars or variables, we have a statistics function. So let's go down to statistics. And you can see some of your symbols. So N will pop out your, we'll actually just put N on the screen, and then you can use that as you wish. But we're going to take our, I think it was our sample standard deviation that we just squared. There's our sample standard deviation, and then our population standard deviation. Min max, min x, max x down here. So that's your lowest data entry, highest data entry. But I need to take my sample standard deviation and square it to find my variance. So variance can be found two ways. You can take your standard deviation, take about 4 or 5 digits out, square it, and then round this number accordingly. Or you can take your sample standard deviation under your vars, square it, and then get your variance. Okay, one more feature that's in Excel that is not in the TI-8384 calculator, Texas Instrument calculator, is the range. But again, we can find the range by taking our highest data entry minus our lowest data entry. So I'm going back to vars, back to statistics. This time I went down to number 5 instead of clicking number 5. I'm going to take my max x, number 9, subtract our minimum x, number 8, and then it gives me my range. Okay, so Excel may give it to you, laid out, but we can manipulate our calculator to find our range. Okay, so those are our basic descriptive statistics for the TI calculator. Until next time.